All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another iteration of Grand Forks Central High School's Rocket League Fenworks stream. A lot of words that mean one thing, really. Hopefully, a North Dakota State Championship for the three seniors at GFC High School. If you've been with us the last couple of weeks, you know the drill at this point, but I will repeat myself for the sake of those that might be new. I'm Mr. Bepic, and I'm the captain of the broadcast ship for the GFC Rocket League streams this month, and we'll see how far we go into the divisional tournament once regular season play is wrapped up for the GFC RL Rocket League, or Rocket League guys. I said Rocket League twice with the RL in there. But we have a pretty big kind of undercard match this week. Last 2 weeks have been pretty commanding 3-0 sweeps. 2 weeks ago, we played Fargo Public Schools, and that was a pretty one-sided series in favor of GFC. Last week, we played Harvey, and that was also pretty one-sided, but a little bit closer. And now, this week and next week, the Grand Forks Central boys are playing Mandan Junior Varsity this week, and then the main big bad varsity players at Mandan next week. And I have been briefed in the preparation that myself and the chef, mostly, some with Jatron as well, did to get ready for the streams this spring semester. I have been told that Mandan is the team to beat. They have won 3 straight state championships. Right now, the varsity team is 4-0. Very likely going to be 5-0 next week when GFC Rocket League plays them. And so for a GFC team that is currently 4-0, hopefully 5-0 next week when they face off against Mandan, we're looking to really find that rhythm. And in the last 2 streams we did, I had a post-match interview with the chef on the first broadcast after they annihilated Fargo Public Schools. And then last week, I talked to Jatron, and both times I brought up the Mandan series. And both times I was told that preparation would be thorough and the guys would be ready. to play Mandan when the time comes. And even though the Mandan junior varsity team is very much a different squad from the Mandan varsity team, I think the fact that you're playing Mandan, like the name alone should get the guys locked in. And I've been told as well that once more for the second consecutive week, they are playing at the University of North Dakota facility, which is where the state championship will be held later on in the spring semester. So, the guys are locked in. They're playing at a college facility to get the most serious reps in. And all the while, they're getting practice for when the state championship is at UND later on in the semester. So I think it's a win-win-win on that front. I'm very excited for both this week and next week of Grand Forks Central Rocket League. This is going to be a good stretch and kind of what we've been building towards these last couple of weeks. The Fargo and Harvey High matches were kind of just precursors and stage setting matches for this week and next week against Mandan. So now that you are properly briefed, let's do some program shout-outs real fast for the rest of Grand Forks Central Esports. Because on Super Smash Bros. Side, Caleb Mackart's a 1-3 loss to Fargo Public Schools, unfortunately. But Jaded Halverson with a 3-0 win over Williston. And Jaded is undefeated, 5-0 right now, and was the Super Smash Brothers runner-up last year. So hopefully they can take it a step further and win that state championship in Super Smash Brothers this year. Undefeated so far. Congratulations, Jaded, there. The Mario Kart team won 2-0 over West Fargo United. So congrats to the Mario Kart squad. And there will be additional matches today. The chef sent this yesterday, and so there are additional matches today because of MLK Day being on Monday. So we'll have even more results to talk about next week, hopefully including a recap for Rocket League, which includes a win over Mandan Junior Varsity. So without further ado, we've loaded into the lobby, so let's lock back in to Rocket League. As I see the fans popping into Twitch chat, I have to say, Twitch chat was absolutely electric last week. I have to shout out everyone that tuned in to the GFC matchup against Harvey High School, because in a high school Rocket League or high school esports match, if you have to scroll in Twitch chat, that's a really good thing. It shows that people are engaged, watching, and supporting their high school athletes. So really appreciate everyone. And looks like the Mandan JV guys have just loaded in as well. So we will do we'll keep breaking things down as we actually have some Rocket League on our screens. So let's tab on over. GFC in blue, Mandan JV in orange. And hopefully you're all getting familiar with the three Grand Forks Central seniors that have really begun their journey for a state championship. But I will reintroduce the three of them for you, because I'm sure we will have plenty of time to as this series gets along, as they're already dominating on the offensive front, really controlling the ball nicely. And J-Tron's got a chance for a double tap early, so we'll start with him. One of the three seniors, Joseph Sprenger. He's been with these guys for a long while now. We talked to him last Thursday after the match against Harvey High, and he was saying that the motivation is there, the team chemistry is there for the amount of years that these three have spent together, and they are dead set on that state championship. So doing all the right things so far. They're really motivated, and here's our first goal of the evening. A minute in. It's the chef with a strike from just outside that orange box. Clean as can be, putting it in on the far side. And I'll talk about him as well, because J-Tron did a lot to set up the show match that these guys played on my stream about 1.5 years ago now, when I was first introduced to them. And then it was the chef that kind of took over the mantle of contacting me to get everything coordinated for these streams in January and hopefully into February as well. And so that's Luke Riley, the chef, also a senior. You're noticing a theme here. And we talked to him 2 weeks ago, and he said a lot of the same things. These guys are very motivated and are really gearing up the prep for the Mandan match next week, the group divisional to seed for states the week after. And he has started us off with the first 2 goals, but Amethyst Nuke has joined this scoreboard, as that's Brandon Sullivan. And he was the player I was least familiar with coming into these streams, but man, has he impressed me. His aerial ability and striking off of open backboards in the opponent end is really impressive. And honestly, he is... I mean, saying the biggest threat kind of diminishes Jatron and the chef, because we've really got a 3-pronged triple threats on this GFC Rocket League lineup. But I love as the front player up, so the player that's typically kind of first on the ball when you're starting an attack in your opponent's end. Amethyst Nuke does so much, and then can re-enter the play quite nicely through the air and off the backboard. But Jatron as well, as a first man in rotation for GFC, is fantastic. Was dishing the ball left and right last week as the chef and Amethyst Nuke were doing a lot of the striking. And it's such a big boon for a team to have an effective facilitator of the ball like Jatron is. And here's Amethyst Nuke off the backboard again. So clean with those reads. Honestly, the most consistent when it comes to making reads off the backboard and putting them on target. I was right there. I mean, that's a fairly easy one. You don't have any defenders in your face. You're not having to maneuver your car through the air, but it's a pretty tight angle for him to hit. So, got to give him his flowers. But it's 5-0 right now, and I might have been hyping up this Mandan JV match a little bit too much, as it seems like the GFC guys are really taking it to Mandan at the moment. I mean, you gotta feel for the Mandan junior varsity players, because I feel like by having Mandan attached to your name, a squad like GFC is not going to take it easy on you, no matter your skill level. As this is kind of looking a lot like what we saw against Fargo Public Schools, who, shout out to them, they actually did win their first series of the season. I saw they are now 1-3 on the season, and that's what we talked a lot about, how at this level of Scholastic Esports, your goal, even if you aren't a team that is exactly competing for a state championship, you're just getting reps. You're getting reps in, you're looking to prepare yourself as an individual player and your team for maybe future seasons and future weeks. And that's what you try to do when you aren't in a position like Grand Forks Central, where every week you are setting yourself up to compete for a state championship. And that's where we're at right now. And so I'll reiterate a lot of the talking points I had 2 weeks ago against Fargo, where you don't want to let your foot off the gas pedal here. And I don't think GFC are going to, for multiple reasons. We didn't see them do it against Fargo until maybe the very end of the series. And, I mean, you're playing Mandan here, and this is a school that the guys want to beat. And right there, a rare miss for Amethyst Nuke off the backboard. For a triple tap, actually. An extra touch there off the backboard. But it sets up more pressure. Still no goal. Pretty good goal line stand by the Mandan junior varsity guys. So credit to them there, as they have at least slowed the downpour of GFC esports goals. And with 100 seconds left, give or take, looks like we'll just settle for just 7 for now, as the chef has to back pass to Jatron, flexing some of that team chemistry. The guy's always on the same page, it seems. You don't see many rotational mistakes out of these 3, especially when you look at the amount that you would expect from guys that are kind of low to mid grand champion rank. Like, you just gotta expect some at some point. But if you take out kind of or if you, I guess, compare these guys to what you would expect out of players at their rank, I feel like they commit a lot fewer rotational errors as a team than you would see out of your standard low to mid GCs. So 8-0 now, adding another to the now pile of goals. I think we've scored enough where pile is an apt term. And now a triple commit in net should open the door for Jatron to stuff that ball in. And with a minute 8 left, you know, I think this game was over a little while ago, but that's kind of an exclamation point of emphasis at the end here of the first game of our best 5. And real quick, I am going to pull up the my stats tool. Let's see what the possession numbers look like, because this is something that GFC has done a very good job at controlling in the 3 weeks that we've watched them play. They will have to likely take into their series against Mandan next week, as good as I have heard that they are. But at the moment, we have spent 87% of this game in the orange half, and that is dominant control. 14 shots for Grand Forks Central, and we've seen some decent clears and attempted counterattacks out of Mandan JV, but nothing like this. Look at that passing play. Jatron locating Amethyst Nuke and is nearly rewarded for a goal at the other end of the play. And, you know, repeated talking point, but if there was one area of the game that I would love to see these guys clean up, it's their striking. Kind of at the edge of their opponent's goal-scoring box, maybe towards the midfield line as well in that area. If they can clean up some of the striking on some more open opportunities, then they might be near unbeatable this semester, because their control is great, their passing's phenomenal, they don't play much defense, but when they do, it's pretty on point as well. Like I was saying, you don't really see them out of position very often, and then you got a threat like Amethyst Nuke, who almost hit that flip reset double tap right there, catching the ball in his undercarriage after sending it off the backboard, and then using that gain flip to put a shot that was just a little bit too light, but still a pretty impressive play, all things considered. So, 10-0 the final. We're going to go ahead and ready up so the guys can go on and get through this. But I'm going to write down the stats. I think that was 18 shots, the final number, to 1 of Mandan. And, yeah, I'm reading Twitch chats, and nice work indeed. Very excellent. And, of course, Wayne Riley, I appreciate the support for the team and for myself too. Love to be here with the guys. Look at this. Amethyst Nuke starting us off with a flip reset play already. You cannot give him space. And the chef tracking the play nicely. Sitting behind, waiting for that ball to pull defenders out of position. And that is a nice opener. I'm going to start skipping replays because we don't need to watch all of them. Unless we get something crazy like this just might be. Beautiful first touch out of Amethyst Nuke, but doesn't have the perfect read off the backboard. And oh, here we go. Shizen showing off some aerial ability in the skies, pulling off some aerial control to at least push the GFC defense back to their goal line, though starting to counterattack now. Jatron wastes no time in spinning that ball right around towards the orange net after they had to make a stop on the back line. Pretty nice. And we're starting off at an even faster pace of goal scoring. I don't think we scored the first goal in game 1 until about a minute in. It was about 4:08. But now we're at 2, nearly 3. Amethyst Nuke catching, popping, and setting up Jatron for a third. Wanted to wait to see if that bump would impede his goal-scoring progress, but didn't end up mattering. Jatron had all the time in the world to put that ball away. Once again, Amethyst Nuke up front. He's doing a lot of good work. Jatron on the back end, following things nicely. And these three, I mean, no matter who is up ahead setting the play up, they're very good at understanding where the ball is going next, even with defenders in net. I mean, right there, Jatron, it's a perfect example. Spotted the guy on the backboard here. I'll try to transition to fly cam. That didn't really work, but he spots Shizen on the ball as the only possible player that could have touched it right there. And because Shizen was pointing towards the middle of the field as opposed to the corner, that's where Jatron positions himself. In the middle of the field, understanding that's where the ball is likely going unless Shizen doesn't end up making contact. And then it's still all good because GFC can still take control of the play in the corner. And so because of that game sense and that awareness, he's rewarded with an absolute dime from the other team where he just outreads them. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, where these guys are tracking where the ball is going next. Whether it's their teammate that's getting the hit on it, or whether it's their opponent that's getting the hit on it. And that's something that I'm really impressed by with this trio. So, 5-0. Goals being scored on all facets of their offensive game. Some off the backboard, some through the corner, some with simple infield passing plays, and all very nicely set up. This one, baiting actually everyone in. This is an open net for Mandan JV to try to put on target, but doesn't quite end up panning out. And Shizen, you know, I should have been paying attention to it. I didn't notice if Mandan subbed them in game 2, but I don't remember them having this sort of control around the field in the first game. Maybe they're understanding where GFC are, or how GFC like to play, rather, and finding some more control off the back of that. But Shizen's got some nice ball control, and that could be a potential goal-scoring condition. Normally, I would say it's a win condition, or potential win condition for Mandan, but when the Chef and J-Tron are pulling off aerial team pinches off the sidewall, I don't think Mandan's in a winning condition at all. Like, you gotta be able to stop that, not allow it in the first place, and then actually score some goals on your end if we're gonna be talking about win conditions for you. But you can see some goals scored, and that's an opportunity. And with this nuke, though, staying at home on the goal line, a really nice job of not losing his cool when we actually see Mandan JV putting some offense on the board. But this is an opportunity here. Getting the ball to your best player, Shizen. Letting the ball weakly peter out towards the sideline, and J-Tron will take over. Try to backflip flick that ball towards his teammate. Does eventually get to the Chef, who attempts another team pinch play with J-Tron, but that one is not quite as successful. In fact, it does result in GFC having to retreat a bit, reset their offense. And now, with that reset in mind, the ball heads center, but it looks like we're just kind of playing monkey in the middle at the moment. Mandan, unfortunately for them, the monkeys in this equation, as Grand Forks Central just trying to keep control of the ball, waste some time, maybe find a 7th goal if the opportunity presents itself, but they're doing a good bit of diving. Kind of earlier in the series, going for more aggressive plays and messing around a bit. Trying to really take it to Mandan, show him what's what. It does kind of feel like a message is being sent by the GFC guys by way of the Mandan JV team. They're trying to reach that varsity roster, show them what they're made of ahead of next week. And they are made of a lot of goals tonight. 17 so far. And we've only seen 9 minutes of play and change. Like, you know it's a good goal-scoring night when they've done so much in the offensive zone, where I haven't yet stopped talking to have a sip of the coffee that I've always got brewed. That was the first sip I've had, and we're 9 minutes and change into the series. It has been non-stop action on the GFC esports stream tonight, and we actually almost got a goal on the Mandan side there. Shizen with a cheeky shot that was just off. Speaking of just off, and with this nuke, unfortunately falling victim to gravity there. Falling in front of a teammate shot. We'll forgive him though. It does lead to the first goal scored by the Mandan JV team. Full Brizzle doing the honors. But not going to matter much in the grand scheme of things. Just an unfortunate turn of events. And once again, GFC getting a little bit aggressive. They were actually rotating properly right there and not sending 2 players to shoot at the nets. Then we would have seen a disaster averted, but it's all good. A 6-goal win. is almost as good as a 7-goal win. We'll take it. 7-1, 2-0 up in the series. Grand Forks Central looking like they'll get out of this one without breaking a sweat. 5 more minutes of potentially a formality if they keep putting up numbers like this. 17 shots here in Game 2. The 5 of Mandan JV. They did improve. Shout out to Mandan JV for trending in the right direction, but I think we'd have to be playing a best of 23 if we were going to see them trending in the right direction to the point where they win a game. So, let's keep the winning streak alive. On broadcast this January in Fenworks play, that is now 8 straight games of wins for GFC Esports. But I think me, you, the players for sure, know that that kind of streak doesn't really matter. Oftentimes in high school Rocket League and high school esports in general, winning a state championship means beating one team. And so you circle your match on the calendar with that one team, and everything else is just you practicing with your squad, getting your rotations down, formulating some kickoff strats, making sure your striking's on point like Jatron's got his tonight, and preparing for that 1, potentially 2, maybe 3 series depending on the format of the league. And so for GFC, they know that the state championship lies on a path that heads straight through Mandan's varsity roster. And that match is next Thursday, 5 p.m. Central, barring a reschedule. So if there is a reschedule, do make sure that you follow GFC Esports. It's GFC_Esports on Twitch, Instagram, and X/Twitter. So make sure you are following to get alerted about potential reschedules. It happened last week against Harvey. We're playing at 4, but everyone kind of filed in on time. So shout out to all of you that made it last week and this week, despite the reschedule last week and then shift back to 5 Central this week. Because there have been a lot of plays tonight that deserve commending. There's another one there. And with this nuke, popping the ball around a defender, setting up the chef through the corner. And right there, Jatron tapping it in for the second here. Could be a third now with this nuke off the backboard. Been uncharacteristically off from the back wall tonight. Off night for him, but we'll forgive him. Has had enough on nights where I think one off is just fine, especially when they are still very much winning. Shizen looking nice in the air. Testing the chef's metal there on the goal line, but his metal is solid. Cheeky pinch as well to get the ball away. And there's your reward. Nice pinch play to clear the zone, and good things come to those who wait. Full Brizzle, a little bit awkward there off the backboard, and the chef all the better for it. 3-0 now. Easy for more. Has some support here in Jatron, who forces the ball through the near side. Looks for an extra touch, but doesn't need it. There was no one home on the goal there. Mandan JV, once again, struggling to keep up with the pace here of GFC. Possession numbers are still firmly in the 80%. 80% range, I should say, for GFC. More dominant control over the ball. The chef pre-jumping the heck out of that Jatron play. He was up last week during the Harvey series and just stayed in the air, waiting for Jatron to set him up there. Oh, okay, clean shot. That's a nice one from Shizen. Has kind of been trending towards a play like this for a while now. It's had several breakout plays with opportunities in the air and off the sidewall. Finally, one actually going his way. So, well done. We'll give credit where some credit's due. Shizen has definitely been the the brightest spots in the Mandan JV offensive attack this series. There, though, pounced upon by Jatron. Now Amethyst Nuke's going backboard. Come on now! That's more like it. He's missed a lot tonight, but it's about how you finish. Set up well by Jatron here, and Amethyst Nuke lays down the hammer. Makes it 5 for GFC. And puts game 3 and this series just a bit further out of reach. Oh, nice awareness by the chef. That's called nameplate Rocket League right there. Reading the nameplate of the player going up against, realizing the most likely outcome of what they're trying to do. Because it's Shizen, you know it's probably going to be an air dribble, because they're capable of an air dribble. The chef gets up early for it, and then the play results in a goal because he dunks Shizen, takes the ball away, and sets up another opportunity for GFC. That's so well done. So well done. Those are the intangibles that oftentimes won't show up on the stat sheet, though it actually did on the previous goal because the chef did get the assist for Amethyst Nuke's goal. And I mean, stats don't really matter when it comes to league play like this. It's really about what you do in that those one or two really important series. But for all intents and purposes, for my nerdy Rocket League brain, that's the way we're going to choose to break things down. Doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but still a significant play. And that, I mean, completely styled on right there. Jatron going in and out of his own net to make the save. And here's 100 points for you, Jatron. Hat trick, 3 goals here in game 3 with this nuke and the chef. You know, we'll give the chef some partial credit here. Was up and part of that setup. Won't get the assist points, but it's all good. We got enough to go around here, though. The chef actually at the bottom of the scoreboard. Gotta get him some points, boys. And with this nuke and Jatron hogging them all right now. And with the 9th goal, they're just going to get some more. Oh, just missing on that one. No 10th just yet. And Jatron's carrying the ball all the way back. Picking up the 100. Nicely timed. Stuffs the first 50-50. Tries to get the ball upfield to, I think that was Amethyst Nuke that was up. Actually, I'm not sure. They're both in a position where once the camera panned it to them, they could have started where that player downfield was. This two was. Doesn't matter, though. 9-1. It's all a formality at this point. Bit of a victory lap, as we are so often seeing in Game 3s on this stream. Grand Forks Central. Such a good Rocket League squad. And like we've been talking about and setting up, the goal is state championship this year. These 3 are seniors. This is their last chance to win a state championship together. Before, I know Jatron at least has committed to UND, as he said in his interview last week. I don't know if the chef or Amethyst Nuke have committed anywhere to play collegiate esports or just, you know, go to school. So if anyone knows, I'm down to shout that out too, because I would love to see these guys at the next level. That's that GC1, GC2 range is such a good range for malleable, coachable, incoming collegiate esports players. Like, these are the guys, like I've seen when I was a coach, I had a guy, he came in as a, it was like peak GC3, but he was more like a low GC2. And he came in as a freshman and got to SSL within his first year because he was coachable, willing to learn, and willing to grind. And that's what these 3 seem to be. They've been on the grind. It's showing this week. Aggregate goal scoring series of 28-2. Dominance from GFC. And I'm sure they are going to be focused for next week. But we got an interview. It'll be the UND coach. And I'm actually not sure what their name is. I just got the info from Jatron. That's our UND coach will be doing the interview. So let's go ahead and give Jatron a ring. It'll be happening through his headset. So we'll see what happens. All right. Hello. Who do we have on the phone right now?
This is the UND coach, Justin,
All
for the Rocket
right.
League team here.
Hey, Justin. Well, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the coaching the boys up this week. Talk about your role. Actually, I'm curious because Jay Tron just told me he was like, yeah, the UND coach will be doing the interview. So that's all the info I got. So nice to meet you. Talk me through what you do.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I've only been with them for like 2 weeks now, so I'm just kind of working with like more metagame stuff, just kind of trying to make sure we have all of our, basics like correct rotations, making sure we get like first man, second man, third man jobs down as good as we can, and just kind of been focusing on making sure everybody has a purpose on the field 100% of the time.
I mean, hey, last couple of weeks have been pretty dominant wins, which I think is kind of typical at the high school level. But you do have the important Mandan versus GFC series next week. I'm sure you know the importance of that. Are you helping them prepare for what could determine the top seed going into the state championships?
Yeah, I'll be doing what I can. We're gonna try to work together over this week and next week before the match, and just try see. I'll try see what and see if we can get any stuff going to help them come out on top. Been trying to get these guys to win ever since it started. So.
Well, hopefully this is their year. I mean, last opportunity for these three being seniors, and I mean, is there a sense of urgency within the team that you can sense with this being their last semester playing together after many years of playing as a trio? Can you feel a sense of urgency in trying to win that state championship?
Oh, for sure. They're hungry for it. It's like, but it's not like in a bad way either. Like
Mm-hmm.
some teams get caught up in like, oh, I just really, really want to win, and that's all I can think about. These guys are focusing on, improving, making sure they're ready for when it comes up. I mean, they definitely have their sights set on winning it. It's just, when the time comes around, we're going to be doing everything we can to actually make sure that it happens.
Well, I'm really excited to see the product of more work of yours with them. And final question I got for you is more about UND because you guys are hosting that state championship, and I'm curious to know more kind of about the facility first of all, and then also what it means to the program to be hosting that state championship.
Yeah, so our facility here, I believe it's a $1.2 million facility.
Okay.
It's a pretty nice facility. All the computers, I believe, were upgraded next year, if I'm not mistaken. But this year, I mean, and they're good setups. Everything is like maximized for players, and it's nice to be able to UND because you get help from like all the students, all the people in the program are able to help set up. It makes things go fluidly, and you get people, who've been in the like collegiate level helping out, they
Mm-hmm.
already know how everything's supposed to work. It's good. It's nice to have like helping hands for all the high schoolers, especially for those who like haven't, been through the whole state tournament thing.
Well, I'm excited to watch the product of it, and Justin, I appreciate you hopping on the mic. I'm glad you get to work with the guys in their pursuit of the state championship this semester. So appreciate you talking, and congrats to you and the guys on the win.
Yeah, thank you. I'll make sure they know, and thank you for having me.
Of course, take care. All right. That does it for another week of the Grand Forks Central High School Rocket League squad team stream. 3 for 3 so far. 9 straight game wins, and let's hope that continues into our matchup next Thursday against Mandan Varsity at 5 p.m. Central Time. Same time, same place as this week. So do make sure you follow GFC_esports. You can see it down there on most social platforms. But as always, hope you all have a great weekend as well, Wayne. And I don't know how much snow you guys are supposed to get, but I know that crazy system's moving through the north right now, and kind of the south too. I'm far enough south where I'm dodging it, but I know it's going to be bad up there. I know you guys are used to snow, but hopefully it's not too bad for you. So everyone have a great, safe weekend. I'll see you next Thursday. Once more, thanks for supporting Grand Forks Central Rocket League. We'll see you later. Peace out.